Well, this was a good book. It was a good book. My hair is a mess. Oh, this was a good book. If you could please check out my Star Trek recaps every Friday and my If Then episodes every Friday afternoon, I'd appreciate it. And please hit the like and subscribe. And don't forget to check out Flashback Monday, where I talk about all the books in this magazine. Sometimes I do 50 or 60, sometimes I get carried away and do 80. Try to hit historical romance, contemporary romance, paranormal, sci-fi, inspirational, mystery, romantic suspense, Harlequin, the whole nine yards. So please check these episodes out. And my daily book reviews. We are doing James Patterson's Alex Cross series. They're here somewhere. And J.O. Ward's Black Dagger Brotherhood series. Unrelieved. I have the next one up. And we are doing the Saint Cyr series. This is book 2, When Gods Die. Sebastain is a Viscount. And they're starting to use him as a Bow Street runner. Sort of, kind of, as a rich Bow Street runner. And he's enjoying it a lot. We also have, before I forget, there's no special editing here. There's no theme music. There's none of that stuff going on here. This is the D. Louise book series. Welcome. And my name is Christina, K-R-S-T-I-N-A. This is where we read books and talk about books. No special effects, no theme music, none of that stuff. And so let's get to the Saint Cyr series. This is book 2. There's a lot of stuff going on in this book. Oh, and be prepared for spoilers. Lots and lots of spoilers. I won't spoil the whodunit, but I will spoil everything else. So there's a couple of things going on in this book. The Prince Regent, it has lots of debt. The people do not like him. And he's used to having lots of liaisons. So he's thinking he's going to have a liaison, a romantic interlude with another person that could potentially be another mistress for him. And he sees her laying there on the chair, couch, whatever. And it turns out she's dead. She's got a dagger in her back. And people come in the room at that point, catch him. A lot of the people think that he actually murdered her. He swears he did not. Sebastain gets Paul Gibson, his personal coroner, involved. Paul Gibson confirms that the woman was killed 6 to 8 hours prior to being found. So she was already dead when the Prince Regent got in the room. So they're trying to protect the Prince Regent, even though word has got out that he killed this woman. And so they think Lord Jarvis believes that Sebastain did such a good job with the previous case that they want him to investigate this case. And he works with Henry Lovejoy in this. But we also have some personal angst with Sebastain. Apparently, his mother has been missing for quite a long time and has been presumed dead. And he confronts his father, I can't tell you how many times in the book. And his father gives him a little tidbit here. You get a little tidbit the next conversation. Another tidbit here. A family member coffers up some more information. And then we get the big confrontation towards the end of the book to find out what really happened. Because what brings this all up is that the dead woman was wearing his mother's necklace. And it's the necklace his mother was wearing the day she disappeared or died, and it was never recovered. Sebastain was told she drowned or something. He was never given the full story, and he just um he's questioning everything. He's concerned about his mother's thing. It can't be the same necklace, said Sebastain. He didn't realize he'd spoken out loud until Lord Jarvis answered him back. But it is, said Jarvis, coming to stand beside him. Look at the back. Moving carefully, Sebastain flipped the triskel on, his fingertips just brushing the cold woman's flesh. In the finger light from the wall sconces, he could see where the initials AC had been artfully entwined with a second set of initials JS. The engraving was old, not as old as the necklace itself, but still worn with passage of the years. It had been well over a century and a half. Adina Cadell had marked the necklace with her initials and those of her lover, James Stuart, the same James Stuart who later assumed the British throne as James II. Sebastain sat back on his heels. He splayed his hands, gripping his thighs. "How did you know?" he asked after a moment. "How did you know this necklace belonged to my mother?" "She showed it to me one day when I happened to admire it. It's an intriguing story, not one that you forget." "And did you know she was wearing it the day she died?" No, I didn't know that. How curious." The memory of that cold brush of dead flesh against his hand nagged at Sebastain. Curious, he leaned forward to study the woman before him. Her fingertips were already turning blue, the muscles of her neck stiff with the rigor of death. Yet the skin of her face seemed unnaturally pink. "How long has it been?" "How long since what?" "Since the prince was found in the Marchioness in his arms. 2 hours, would you say? Less. Why?" "She's cold," and Paul Gibson later confirms that she's been dead for 6 to 8 hours. So we get the necklace. He confronts his father. Like I said, his father gives him just a tidbit of information. And so then Sebastain questions suspects. He questions Lord Portland. And then he has Tom do some investigation for him. Tom has moved up in the world. He's his footman, his tiger, his whatever. He uses Tom to run lots of his errands for him. He's grown affectionate towards Tom. He also questions Oliver is worried about his nephew Bevan. Oliver is Guinevere's, the deceased lady's husband. Sebastain questions him several times. He's got a notorious past. A lot of his wives have also died accidentally. He's been trying to get an heir forever. He's getting old. He's only got, according to the doctors, he's got less than a year to live. And he needed this heir because he did not want his nephew Bevan to become, that's his only heir and gain all his money, because Bevan has a lot of debts. He likes to gamble a lot. He's poor with his funds. And Oliver believes that Bevan might have killed Guinevere, that's the lady's name that got killed, because he wants to inherit all the money from his uncle, and he doesn't want an heir. Sebastain once again talks to his father. Like I said, his father gives him another little piece of information. We get some more information about the necklace. And I like to share the books. I like to share these with you. I like to share these books with, let's see, we get some more information about, I don't understand. If supposed to its next guardian, then why did Adina give it to James Stuart? You need to remember that at the time she knew him, James Stuart was a hunted man. Charles I, his father, the king, had just been beheaded by Cromwell and the Roundheads, while his brother, the future Charles II, was a fugitive in exile. Devlin thrust his foot into a boot and stood up. According to the legend, the necklace is supposed to bring long life. That's why Adina gave it to James Stuart, to protect him. They say that when he first strode into London after the restoration of Charles II, he had that necklace in a special pouch he always wore around his neck. She must have loved him very much, said Kat, to give him something so precious. I think so too, although he hardly faithful to her. He went on to marry 2 different wives and have over a dozen kids. He was destined to be king. He needed a wife the people would accept, not some wild Welsh woman from the fields of Cronin. If she loved him, she would understand that. Only it didn't work, did it? He didn't know long life. He lost his throne and died in exile. But by then he no longer possessed the necklace. According to the story, James II had a child by Adina Siddell, a girl by the name of Guinevere. Guinevere Stewart. Hmm, intriguing. So we talked to everybody about their alibis. We talked to Bevan. We talked to Barlin. We talked to Oliver. Sebastain talks to his aunt about Guinevere's bloodline. That's the dead woman's bloodline. And uh, Hayden Sr. By 5 years, she'd been married to a tender age of 18 to the heir to the Duke of Claiborne. It was considered quite a feat of matrimonial maneuvering at the time, for the former Lady Henrietta Sincere had never been a particularly attractive female, even when young. She had Hendon's broad, fleshy face and barrel-like body, and the same intelligent habitat of staring people out of their countenance. She was a Grand Duchess. I was on my way to a Seton's party, she said. Um, as of my last reckoning, Claiborne had been dead 2 years and 6 hours. I gave the man 4 children, 51 years of marriage, and 2 full years of mourning. I now intend to enjoy myself. I wasn't aware of the fact that you ever did anything else. Pour me some wine, not the paltry stuff. Now, what's this about? Hendon tells me you're involving yourself in the death of the poor, unfortunate woman down in Brighton. When did you see my father? Today. They all come back to London. Percival and Heaton, Prinny and Jarvis, even the ridiculous Comte de Lillo, as he calls himself. How he can expect anyone to consider him the rightful king of France when he hasn't even gotten the gumption to call himself Louis VIII. So he asked her to tell her about Guinevere. Um, let's see. She was the Earl's second wife, I believe, or was it his third? At any rate, she didn't survive long enough to bring him for him to bring her to London. How many wives did he have? 5. The man was a regular bluebird. The first 4 all died in childbirths. Gives him nothing but girls too, which is why I suppose he kept at it. Managed in the end, though. The Earl's new son is about 10. All right, so I missed my page. Lady Guinevere came out the same year as Emily's eldest, you know. She was quite the sensation of the season. I mean, Lady Guinevere, of course, not Emily. I'm afraid that poor child takes after Emily far too much ever to have much of a chance of going off well. So he asked about scandals and how she married, etc. So he gets the information out of his aunt. And then Kat finds a costume for Tom to do some investigating. Sebastain learns about some stuff that's going on at the Norfolk Arms. He goes to question Guinevere's lover, Varden. He talks to Varden's mom, gets a smidge of information, not much. He talks to Kat a lot during the book. Kat is his lover, and he asks her to marry him. I can't tell you how many times, but she won't do it because she is just an actress, and he's a Viscount, and she doesn't want him shunned from society. And she's got a past. She was a spy for the French, and we see some of that in this book too. So also, Lord Jarvis's daughter is Hero. That is her name. We don't know the source of that name as of yet, but she will become an important person in later books. And he does some more investigating. He finds out that Guinevere went to the Norfolk Arms for a liaison. We later learn that it was Somebody set her up to do it, obviously, and she was killed at the Norfolk Arms. And biggest thing in Sebastian's mind is why Guinevere was killed. Was she killed because she had Oliver's next in the oven, or was she killed because she knew something? And if she knew something, what did she know? So, for most of the book, Sebastian is focused on her being pregnant with the heir, and he's doing all of her associates, finding out about a lover. It's later revealed that Oliver was unable to produce children anymore, so he had her take a lover just so she could get pregnant. And then it's later revealed that Oliver got jealous. He was an insanely jealous person, so fingers are pointed at him again. The fingers get pointed at quite a few different people in this book. It goes this way, it goes that way, it goes this way. It's pointed at Oliver, then it's pointed at Varden, then it's pointed at Portland. The finger gets pointed at several different men in this book. In one of the a little teary-eyed, before we get to that, Kat gets a bouquet of flowers, 1 yellow and 9 white roses. She thinks about it and thinks the 19th day after tomorrow. She thinks about the note with it and the king made silver and gold. She checks the Bible verse she believes that concurs with it. And on Wednesday, the 19th of June at 1:15 p.m. in the afternoon, Pierpoint's successor, Napoleon's new spy master in London, would be looking to meet her at the gardens in Chelsea. Message received. She's going to rendezvous with a potential spy situation. And Sebastian returns home one time and he finds Tom in the library reading Jason and the Argonauts. He's happy that Tom knows how to read, and he lets Tom borrow the book, and Tom is really excited. Tom is an orphan. We do get some information on his background later in the book. He talks to his brother Huey like a guardian angel. It turns out that Huey was his older brother that died. He was hanged. Sebastian himself found himself thinking about the other 2 children, one named Huey and the other Tom, and about their mother, a simple but devout widow out of work and thrown into the streets with 2 children to feed. For her, as for untold thousands of women in such a situation, the choices were simple but stark: starvation, theft, or prostitution. Tom's mother had chosen theft and earned herself a one-way voyage to Botany Bay. Prostitution might have brought her disease and an early death, but it wasn't a capital crime. Stealing to feed your children was. From what Tom had told him, Sebastian figured the boy had been 9 years old when he and his brothers stood on the docks and watched their mother being rowed out to a transport lying at anchor in the Thames. The older by 3 years, Huey had taken upon himself to care for his younger brother the best he knew, until they caught Huey for stealing and they hung him. And that's how Tom ended up all by himself. I'm sorry that he didn't meet Devlin sooner. Maybe Devlin could have helped the family out. Maybe his mother could have been a housekeeper or something. And I don't know, but I'm glad that he's taking care of Tom. I've enjoyed Tom from the first book, and I enjoyed to see him grow through the next couple books. So he talks to Varden again. He he discovers about the Norfolk Arms, and Carter is the bartender, and he knows stuff but's not confessing. Sebastian sends Tom to investigate, and Tom doesn't show up for 2 days, and Tom had overheard about a gunpowder delivery, so they framed Tom for pickpocketing. He didn't do it. The guy did a palm action. The guy took his watch off and had it in his hair, and then he goes, "Oh, look," and he pretended to pull it out of Tom's pocket. So Tom spent a couple of days in jail until Sebastain found him in time, too, because they were going to hang the poor kid because he knew about the gunpowder issue. So we've got a couple of mysteries here. One, who killed Guinevere? Two, is there a plot to overthrow the king and replace him with another king? And three, what happened to Sebastian's mother? What is the real story there? And I guess Kat is a fourth story if you want to add her in. But I can tell you that Kat sticks to her guns about not marrying Sebastain because she's just an actress and he's a Viscount and he needs to marry in his social class. So she sticks to that. So please hit the like and subscribe and let me know I'm doing a good job here. I really enjoyed these books. I think it's When Serpents Sleep, I think is the next one. Don't quote me on that. Why Mermaids Sing. Okay, so Serpents is after that. So Why Mermaids Sing is the next one. And the Patterson is over here too, but I can't reach it. J.L. Ward, Lover Unveiled is the next one down the line. And I got, wait a second. Patterson, the next book is Hope to Die. So look for those later in the week. And I got a present in the mail today. Check it out. Please hit the like and subscribe. Thank you.